I go, you think she's going to close? And he's like, oh, she'll close.
Wow, I have been waiting for this for a very long time. In Bethany Frankel's latest brutal takedown of Harry and Meghan, and you remember Frankel, very good friends with Lauren Sanchez, but also a former star of The Real Housewives of New York, has opened up for the first time about her secret relationship with Meghan's ex-husband, her first husband, Trevor Engelson. And you are not going to believe what Trevor said to Bethany Frankel about how Meghan was going to snare Harry when they first met. Absolutely fascinating stuff. So I am going to come to that in just one moment because it is truly fascinating insight. But first, I want to show you what Bethany Frankel has to say about this growing debacle in regards to Meghan and Harry's attendance at Kris Jenner's 70th and the fact that they then asked for the pictures to be deleted, lying about a consent form. Watch.
So Meghan and Harry don't want the association with the flashy cashy, with the overtly American, and also they're supposed to appear understated, Montecito, muted tones, and this is a different look. Anyone's allowed to take any picture down that they want, and I mean, I can't imagine going to that event and not thinking that somehow your picture would end up somewhere, but they couldn't resist the temptation of going, but also wanted to resist the temptation of showing, and they didn't do anything wrong. It's just been hard to be them because they have been riding between two worlds for a long time, and they just have to land, accept where they land. Don't bite the hand that's now feeding them and lean all the way in. They should be in the first slider pick with Jeff Bezos and the Kardashians. You got to dance with the one who brung you and not the ones who aren't even inviting you to their dance anymore. You're welcome.
Now, what's interesting is, as you know, Bethany Frankel has been one of the first big American celebrities who was on to Meghan Markle. Right from the start, she really seemed to understand something. But we've never really known why until now. Watch.
We're going to have to talk about the Kris Jenner party, too.
Okay, well, I want to know your thoughts on Meghan and Harry not only being there, but then asking for the photos of them to be deleted.
Okay, that's so funny that you said asking. Was that confirmed?
Because sorry, it wasn't. I just assumed.
Oh, I said it yesterday, too. But the headlines were sort of indicating that somehow Kris, Kim, their group wanted to take them down. Like they quietly took them down as if it was their choice. And I did on my podcast yesterday, which hasn't aired yet. I was like, why is that sort of the tone of the articles? It has to be that
the opposite.
Because they don't want people to feel that they're hobnobbing with the Kardashians. Like
right, but so don't go.
It's just, listen, this has been the number one hot thing I ever did in social media that didn't need to be done for what happened was talk about Meghan the day before her Oprah interview.
Mm-hmm.
It was
said
Cry Me a River, and it really just hit sideways. There were 2 brand deals I lost, all of this stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So crazy.
Because of that, people were scared. Okay, because of she was saying she was suicidal, and because of the talking about the
racism.
Yes.
But that reason why is because she had a personal relationship, maybe even slightly romantic relationship with Meghan Markle's ex-husband.
I've met a couple of times her ex-husband. I'm sure
Meghan's?
Yes, I met him like personally. We were supposed to, a while.
Somebody set you up.
We met in the lobby of the Soho House in Chicago and just sort of like flirted and then started talking and then met once in LA. Very briefly, we talked about doing a project. He said his ex was a woman from a show called Suits. I didn't know what the show was. I didn't know the woman. Months later, I see pictures in Us Weekly of Harry's dating someone, and I text him to be like, is this your ex? And he's like, yup. And I'm like, I go, you think she's going to close? And he's like, oh, she'll close. And I don't want to get into more about that, but he was like, she'll close. So,
oh, Tash, she'll close. And of course, this comes after Megyn Kelly had previously revealed that Trevor Engelson had told a very close friend of hers that Meghan Markle had this vision board which included pictures of Prince Harry on it. Isn't this fascinating? Bethany Frankel has always seemed to really understand what makes Meghan tick, and it now emerges it's because she had this insight from Trevor, the first husband.
It's an interesting sort of words that she used there, you know, that she'll close. That's like she'll close the deal, because obviously even he could see that with Meghan, this was the deal of her life. This was Meghan's you know, she created a spider web as far as I'm concerned, but this vision board is the perfect visual of what I've always said. Is she just worked out where she needed to start and where she needed to get to as it were, the Harry, who was the fly in the web. And the fact that he had said, you know, yeah, she'll close, it just shows that Meghan has that tenacious determinedness that almost, I would say, mercenary, cold-blooded. She'd set her sight on something, and so many people over the years have said about Meghan, well, even Harry started reciting it. I'm sure Meghan fed the words into him. What Meghan wants, Meghan gets. It's clearly obvious that she decided to target Harry at some point. But yes, it is targeting, it is closing a deal, and we're seeing the fruits of her labors now. All she's ever wanted is to be invited to these big, superficial, Hollywood style parties that she's going to now, although I do think that might be her last offer for some time. But yes, it was very interesting with Bethany Frankel. I just wondered if she'd seen someone like Meghan before, come across like narcissism. A lot of people that can read Meghan have come across a narcissist at some point in their life and been burnt by it. But that's even more telling, the fact that she met Trevor firsthand.
Well, I think it's Trevor, isn't it? It's Trevor who obviously had to deal with that, you know, had to deal with the ring being returned by post. And you're so right. It's like, she'll close. It was absolutely like talking about a deal, and he knew that she would. I thought that was so interesting. There was more, though, from this new Bethany Frankel podcast.
I thought she was wonderful. It was so great for the monarchy. I liked the message, all the things. When they left, I was really more just talking about like their decisions through the Netflix, through the trying to put 50 pounds of shit in a five-pound bag. It just seemed like, had they been managed properly or really been strategic, like played chess, it would have been such a different outcome. I don't know what happened to Amal and George. They're close friends. Like, I want to be best friends with George and Amal way more than I want to be at the Kardashians. Like David Beckham and Victoria. Like, where's that? Like,
why wasn't she, like they should have come to the States and been like friends with Michelle and Barack. Like, so many things. It seems like people
like
in Hollywood
Justin Trudeau at the,
like repel them. Like, they want nothing to. So that's why I was actually pleasantly surprised to see her at the party. I'm like, that's what you should be doing. Like, this is, you're fabulous, you're rich, you're skinny, you live in LA. Like, go to the Kardashian Bezos party. Like,
well, no, but they did it a while ago. They did something with Chris and Ellen.
Ellen,
and
yes.
Oprah before, like in Montecito. Yeah.
I this is the life I like wanted for her.
I mean, that's so American, isn't it? This is the life I wanted for you, Meghan. But I mean, it's more Bethany Frankel's point, which I think is interesting, because what she's effectively saying is, you had the Clooneys, you had the Beckhams, you lost them. Now you're going to lose the bloody Kardashians and the Bezos.
Yes, there is a common denominator, isn't there, Dan? This is the thing. All of these people all of the shoulda, woulda, couldas, and like that podcast host said, they're repelled. Everybody seems to be repelled by them. People don't stick around them for very long, because I just think that their deeply unpleasant personalities obviously come through very quickly. But I think Harry seems to be more liked than Meghan, really. But yes, it never ends well with any of their friendships. They can't keep hold of anyone for very long, but they're always the victims.
Yeah, indeed. And what's interesting, right, is that Bethany Frankel is close friends with Lauren Sanchez. And again, knew Lauren Sanchez from before she was with Jeff Bezos. And she's not opposed to people who sort of want to be famous for the sake of it. Indeed, she describes Lauren Sanchez as being Meghan Markle with no rules. Watch.
So for her to, I'm of the belief that she asked them to take the photos down for whatever reason.
Well, no, it's not whatever reason. It's basically you can't ride two horses at the same time. So you can't like be all about the podium and the philanthropy and the don't really care, you know, the supernatural muted tones, and don't really care about all of this flash and cash and then hang out with the Flash and Cash. That's why I have always said Lauren Sanchez is Meghan Markle with no rules. Honey Badger don't give a fuck.
I love
Okay?
that.
She doesn't have to answer to anyone. She can do what she wants. She can have her tits out. They can donate money how they want. And she and Jeff, who I know, are great. I don't care what anyone says. They're great. They're doing what they want. They're allowed to hang out with anybody they
agree.
want. Okay. And I've known her for years, since like she first met Patrick, who I knew, her ex-husband. Okay. So I've known her for years and talked about her. Meghan is trying to be so many different things, and I just don't think that she herself is fully aware of who she is. So you can't be I can be authentic, exactly who I am. Piss people off, don't piss them off. I know where I stand, and I make mistakes. I'll come back to the line. But like, it's very difficult to be front and center at the Kardashian 70th party and then also be many of the things
that she wants to be.
Yeah, and maybe she is both those things, but it's hard for the audience to digest that.
I thought that was so interesting, Tash. I think, again, Bethany Frankel has the correct analysis there. Like, if Harry and Meghan did just have more of an I don't give an F attitude, then at least there might be some grudging respect for that. But it is the fact that they want us to believe constantly that they're something they're not. So, like, when it came to the party, Meghan wanted us to believe that, oh no, she does really care about the venture and she just couldn't track down a poppy. Well, that is poppycock. It's so easy to track down a poppy in Los Angeles. She'd managed to do so before. Her husband managed it. She couldn't be bothered. She didn't want to. She didn't believe in it. She saw his poppy.
It's true. And you're telling me that Harry doesn't have a spare. I mean, there were photographs of Harry at several of these events over in Canada, and even his long-term security guy, Dave Langdon, had a poppy in. You know, Meghan could have got her hand on a poppy if she wanted to. But I can completely agree with Bethany there. But this is what we've said for a very long time. Meghan doesn't know what personality she wants to be one day at a time. She's constantly like a child in a dressing up box. And you can't, you know, I guess preach from their ivory tower, which they often seem to do, but then they don't follow through with anything. You know, it's like Harry preaching to people about where they should fly and they should only stay in sort of like eco-conscious places, and they use private jets and have motorcades of security fleets of vehicles following them everywhere. Or Meghan and Harry are saying about the dangers and the harms of social media, yet they show their children on social media. You know, and Meghan uses the children to get engagement onto her social media, but there they are telling parents, no, you shouldn't ever, you know, upload pictures of your kids. You know, they're complete and utter hypocrites in every which way a human can be. Everything that they talk about and they preach about. Meghan turning up to charity events, you know, they're not making big donations that are there, but Meghan will turn up in a brand new £100,000 outfit dripping in jewels. And again, it's just that constant contradiction of who they're trying to be and who they preach at people to be. And it doesn't add up. And that's why, again, people don't know what world they're trying to fit in, because I don't think Harry and Meghan do.
No, indeed. Kennedy from Fox News has also gone viral for her take on what happened after the Kris Jenner birthday debacle. What?
I think that the Kardashians or the Markles are lying. I think Meghan Markle is full of hot. I don't believe a word that she says. She's a garbage person. She just loves to ruin families. And now she thinks that she's throwing her weight around. It's like, who does she think she is? This has to make Harry so frustrated. It's like his family hates him. Andrew has just been stripped of his princely titles and his home, and he's been kicked to the curb. And William is going to do the exact same thing with Harry. He will never forgive him for what he wrote in the book. He will never forgive him for that cash grab betrayal in his memoir, Spare, ever. So it's like William's just like, tick tock, can't wait till I'm king because you are dead to me. And he knows it. So he knows he's no longer a part of that world. That everyone in the royal family hates him. They think he's a wuss and a disloyal turncoat.
Yeah, and this is why I think we're seeing the descent of Harry, actually, over the past couple of weeks, because he knows what's coming, Tash.
I mean, doing things like this, going to events like this as well, I don't think it's done him any favors. They are Andrew and Fergie 2.0, but as many people, have said, and I happen to agree with it, I think they're worse than Andrew and Fergie. The only difference is they had 30 more years to get themselves in deeper holes, but Harry and Meghan seem to be like everything, digging those holes pretty quickly themselves. They've got questionable friendships, they've had questionable purchases of homes, where they stay, whose private jets that they use. I mean, they really do just get themselves into trouble already. And the fact is that they want to still be treated like members of the royal family. And that is the very institute that they have tried multiple times to try and destroy. Again, that's another thing where they're completely hypocritical. We want to be treated as a duke and duchess, but then we also want to try and destroy the monarchy, the very reason why we have those titles in the first place. So, I mean, I really do hope that the clock is ticking with the titles, with the dukedom especially. I hope Prince William does do it. I think he has to as well, because he has seen the damage that Andrew has managed to do,
Yes.
being left unchecked. Is he going to risk that coming out
No,
when he and
exactly.
Catherine?
Because that's the thing. It's not necessarily about now, is it? It's
No.
about 10 years' time, 20 years' time, 25 years' time, when they're more desperate, when they have no money.
Yeah.
That's where things change. But I do think there is a growing realization about this. Indeed, I want to show you what Robert Jobson. Now, remember, Jobbo is really the journalist closest to the king, very, very tapped into the court of King Charles. And he has actually given his most brutal assessment of Prince Harry yet. This is on the Sun's Royal exclusive, saying that Prince Harry will be a broke, balding ex-royal by the age of 50. Watch this, Tash.
Royals.
Well, and that I think is
they're
interesting.
different. They're different now. The vibe is different. The whole mood and shift will now go on to George, Charlotte, and Louis,
just gonna say,
and they will become really, frankly, bit part players. Now they won't like that, and that's probably what this is all about: making sure they've got a presence, a brand to monetize. Because pretty soon they're going to be really so far removed from the main game that they're not going to be able to get as much money out of being royals.
I think Valentine Lowe wrote that in his book, didn't he? Or I seem to remember Val writing about saying that Harry did have fears that he might, become irrelevant into his 50s. And, they're making a huge noise at the moment.
Yeah.
But he undoubtedly will. He'll be a bald 50-year-old prince that, a gentleman, someone formerly known as Prince. That's what he will be. I mean, and that will be not the same as they talk about, he's got an appeal with the younger generation. Well, they'll be thinking, who is this guy? They won't even know who he is. They're 40-year-olds. They're not
so
young.
true. It's so true, Tash. That is what is facing him. And I think he knows that. Because, of course, the other thing that Harry has really struggled with this week has been the emergence of George earlier than expected.
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing to see Prince George go to that with his mum, the Princess of Wales. We've seen him earlier in the year at the 80th anniversary of VJ Day, and he had apparently chosen, he was there with Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, but he'd actually asked to stay on and to attend some of the engagements afterwards with his parents, because he was interested talking to some of the veterans who were sharing photographs. And he's really showing he's very much he's got a different path, hasn't he, obviously, with his siblings. And I think the way Catherine and William are approaching it is even better than perhaps Princess Diana and King Charles did with Prince William. I think that they are waiting for George to choose what things he wants to be involved with. And I think this very, very slow, staged process, with obviously George being happy to attend these events. And these are really, really important events, remembrance. And I think it's so important as well, teaching the younger generations. And he's a lovely young man. You can see he does remind me of his father, actually. And yeah, I can imagine that the king was really proud to have him there as well. I think Prince William was round about the same age when they started introducing him to more public public moments like this. But he holds himself so well, and you can tell he's such a polite young man. And yeah, I think all of the children really hold themselves well.
Do you really want their life, though? That's the question a lot of people in royal circles are asking, Tash, after an extraordinary new interview from Lady Frederick Windsor, previously known as the actress Sophie Winkleman, where she brands the royal family's lives as total hell and a form of torture. So I want to take you through what she said, Tash, because certainly in royal circles, this interview has got everyone talking. She said, the more I get to know the royal family, the more I get that their lives are total hell. And that level of unasked for fame is a form of torture. None of them went on Pop Idol or something to be famous. To have that sort of blinding spotlight in your face from when you're born, not knowing quite whom you can trust, not knowing if someone's going to betray you, people writing lies about you the whole time, is just brutal. Now, Lady Frederick Windsor, who married Lord Frederick Windsor, the son of Prince Michael of Kent, King Charles III's second cousin, in 2009, said she feels for all of the royal family. I don't think a life with that much scrutiny and pressure is remotely healthy, but they have no choice. In another part of the interview, the 45-year-old talked about her nuptials, saying she didn't know anyone there. What did you make of this interview, Tash?
I I mean, from the brief bits that I've read myself on it, I haven't read the entire interview, but yes, I mean, I agree with her. They didn't ask for fame. Members of the royal family do not ask for it. They're born into it. I think the people that marry into it have a lot more choice, like she did. I don't feel that she's done the best thing by being that open with regards to there's so much speculation going on with the royal family at the moment. And was it the best thing to say? While she was being honest, it then shines another light onto the royal family, and it can also then be misconstrued by people that support Harry and Meghan and how unhappy they were being members of the royal family. So it was a bit of a, I don't know, the media can twist it how they want to twist it, but I do agree with what she says that it must be extremely hard for those that are born into it. But I will say, where we were talking about Prince George and Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, I think that Catherine, with and obviously with her family and Prince William being so involved, spending so much time growing up in the Middleton family environment, I feel that it's given him an exceptional outlook that he wouldn't have necessarily had if he had married someone else, perhaps blue blood. And I think the way that he and Catherine are raising their children, showing the children obviously at certain events, but it seems to be, the children seem comfortable. There are times when Prince Louis is absent, and it could be due to his age, or maybe they just feel that it might be too much for him. And I like the way that they are steadily managing their children's introduction into public life. And we've seen a real shift, which the mainstream media hate. As you know, Dan, they hate Prince William, they hate Catherine, because they do not give them the sort of access that they have had for decades. But yes, the interview, as I said, it could be easily twisted. Was it the best thing to be doing? I honestly don't know. But at least I suppose she's got an insight to the royals. And I think she was trying to get that little bit of sympathy towards them, that they don't ask for all of this intrusion into their lives.
Tash, I just want to ask you about Beatrice and Eugenie, who the princesses, daughters of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Sarah Ferguson, who have popped their heads up this week, returning to royal life. This was the headline on the story in The Royalist by Tom Sykes. King Charles just sent Andrew's daughter out on a royal hospital job. Has he actually lost his mind? The king, failing to understand the public don't ever want to see any member of the York family ever again, has equally inexplicably made Beatrice a new patron of Outward Bound. Is it unfair, Tash, to suggest that Beatrice and Eugenie should also just follow their parents into effective royal exile?
I think people are really conflicted at the moment when it comes to the princesses because I mean, I've often defended them as well, that they shouldn't be punished for their parents' sins. It's not their fault. But there are certain things that are starting to come out to do with their involvement with their father's bank accounts. There were lots of stories that came out to do with some of the dodgy dealings that Andrew has allegedly had, where money like 750,000 went to Princess Beatrice for her wedding. Eugenie has had £25,000 payments put through as birthday gifts. And then you've obviously got Princess Beatrice, I would say more than Princess Eugenie, with her involvement with the Middle East. I spoke with Andrew Lowney, and he said that there will be more stories, more information that will be coming out next year when he releases the paperback version of his book that does implicate Beatrice and Eugenie. And I don't know if they're being really honest, perhaps with the king, but then from the king's perspective, he doesn't want to be seen as someone, he is their uncle and he doesn't want to punish them. And they have been good with stepping up into royal roles. And if they turns out that they do not have any involvement, I would still like to see Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie take on some sort of role, not taxpayer funded, but they could definitely help with hospital visits and, maybe doing a bit more of the boring royal stuff, just those extra set of heels on the ground, as it were. But if they do get caught up in any of this mess and stuff starts leaking out, then the king's going to have to deal with the backlash yet again.
Amazing analysis from According to Taz, whose most recent video on YouTube is headlined The Fallen, about all of this week's drama involving Prince Harry in contrast to Prince William and the royals who are doing true work. So make sure you do subscribe to According to Taz on YouTube. But Tash, we love having you on Outspoken, and we will speak next week, of course. And if you do want first access to our Royal Uncancelled after show, then please do sign up.
The Prince of Wales made an unexpected appearance on the American programme Dancing with the Stars, offering encouragement to Earthshot Prize ambassador Robert Irwin. The gesture highlighted the close friendship between the heir to the throne and the Australian conservationist, who is 21 years old. Their friendship began when they met in South Africa in the year 2024, and they have remained in contact since then. The Prince appeared via a recorded video message during the Tuesday evening broadcast. His remarks were directed to Irwin and to Irwin's professional dance partner, Whitney Carson. In the message, the Prince expressed that Irwin's absence was felt within the Earthshot community and noted that he needed Irwin's presence for ongoing environmental work. He also made a light-hearted request that Carson dress Irwin in as much glitter as possible, adding a humorous tone to the message. Their meeting a year earlier had led the Prince to appoint Robert Irwin as a global ambassador for the Earthshot Prize, his environmental initiative. Irwin, who has long followed the conservation legacy of his late father, Steve Irwin, had previously described the Prince as a kindred spirit. The two have been aligned in their advocacy for wildlife protection and environmental preservation. This year's Earthshot Prize ceremony took place in the city of Rio de Janeiro, where the Prince represented his father, the King, at the 30th conference of the parties. 5 environmental innovators were awarded a collective prize fund totalling £1 million. Irwin, however, was unable to attend the ceremony due to his commitments to the dance competition. Shortly before his performance on the programme, Irwin said that receiving a supportive message from the Prince meant an extraordinary amount to him. He dedicated his performance to both his sister Bindi and to the Prince. Irwin then took to the stage with a foxtrot set to Leona Lewis's song, Footprints in the Sand, delivering a routine that was widely praised by the judging panel. Irwin's background in television began with the series Crikey, which featured him alongside his sister Bindi and their mother Terry. The family has continued the conservation mission established by Steve Irwin, who lost his life to a stingray injury when Robert Irwin was only 3 years old during filming on the Great Barrier Reef. Following Robert Irwin's dance on the Tuesday broadcast, his sister joined him on stage. She herself had previously won the dancing competition in the year 2015. Irwin and his dance partner ultimately achieved a perfect score of 40 points out of 40, marking the first flawless result of the season. One judge jokingly described his own score for Irwin as a royal 10 and congratulated the young conservationist by noting that Irwin now held what he called both a royal and an American seal of approval. This was not the first time the prince had made an unannounced appearance during one of Irwin's media engagements. Earlier in the year, he surprised Irwin during a live interview on British Broadcasting Corporation Radio 2, where he praised Irwin as an outstanding ambassador for the Earthshot Prize. The prince also made a humorous remark about Irwin's habit of revealing unusual or intimidating animals during his media appearances. The continued public support between the prince and Robert Irwin has underscored their shared commitment to environmental conservation, as well as the friendly rapport that has developed between them.